What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day on the 1st of February, I hopped onto my stream expecting to have an absolute sweat fest. But instead, I was greeted with probably one of the best days I've ever witnessed in a day of Call of Duty. Of course, I'm curious to see what you guys have to say down in the comment section. Let me know if you have felt anything change, anything different. But this is all personal experience, of course. Typically, it's pretty sweaty. I'm very used to having to sweat every single game, with the rare occurrence of, a noob lobby that might happen. You guys see it on the channel all the time. I always try to showcase the best of my gameplay, but I don't show you guys the countless hours of me, sweating, because I know it's entertaining to some, but I find that the best clips, for YouTube at least, are the clips where you're going off with your streaks and hitting insane feeds. It doesn't matter. Usually I'll get a lobby like that thrown at me every once in a while. But this time around, today, it was just absurd. Every single game I got into was beyond the point of casual. And I would have actually a sprinkle of sweaty games. So instead of it being a sprinkle of casual games with, sweat lobbies 24/7, it was a sprinkle of sweat lobbies competition with actually a handful of really casual styled matches. And it's making me think, because before, this did happen around the holiday season, and I didn't really think too much of it. But after reading the skill-based matchmaking blog, they have come out and told us, on paper, that they do indeed put out tests behind the scenes that nobody knows about. And again, I know a lot of people are a little salty that they don't tell us about these tests, but that's the only way that they can get legitimate feedback, to be honest with you guys, even though I would prefer them to go into the experimental playlist and put it in there, which we will discuss a little bit later. But in order to see a genuine number, to see real mindsets of people, the best way of doing things is putting out a test behind the scenes without people knowing, and then get the numbers based off of that, right? I mean, realistically, that's what I would do personally if I was trying to test out a scenario. I wouldn't want to tell everybody, I really want to see what this is, so let's do this, and that, because everybody's anticipating it. Everybody knows what's happening. But if you do it behind the scenes, you could see the real reactions of the overall player base, and not just the hardcore player base like us, a lot of people who are watching this video, but the very casual player base, people who don't go on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram looking at the Call of Duty pages, and people who could really give a two craps about any of this stuff, and they might hop on like once a month, maybe once every half a year. Their gaming catalog is much more vast than just Call of Duty, and on top of that, they probably don't even play games that much in general. They're very casual when it comes to gaming. So to see a true perspective across the board of all players, the hardcore audience and those super casuals, the best way of handling it is going behind the scenes and putting in the test behind the doors. And that is what this is feeling like right here. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I'm starting to believe that Activision might have done the same thing that they were talking about, because they said very clearly in the post that they heard about our complaints saying the lobbies and matchmaking was way too sweaty. Again, it's not like we only want to verse noobs. That's not the case. I don't want to stomp out noobs every 5 seconds because it's boring. But the whole purpose of Call of Duty is getting crazy streaks. And that's for everybody, It doesn't matter what skill level you are. A negative KD, an average KD, a really high KD. One of the best feelings in COD is going on your streaks, right? And doing that in competitive lobbies isn't really that doable, Usually when you see ranked, they don't even have any of those high-end streaks, and over half the time, even if they did allow high-end streaks in ranked, nobody's getting them. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening, and that's what sweat lobbies are like. But again, what made Call of Duty so fun back in the day is the wide variety of matches. Some games are competitive, some games are average, some games are nail biters, other games you're just absolutely demolishing and getting every last one of your streaks. But the variety is what keeps people interested. And again, like I said, in the blog post, I know it didn't really resolve much of what people wanted to hear or see. But they did say, they heard us when they said the matches are too sweaty, and they said they're going to work on it. They're going to try to make adjustments to see if they can find a middle ground. They said that. I know people are going to deny the facts somehow, even though it's on paper. And, it's fair if you don't believe this. If you don't believe that they're going to go ahead and do that sometime down the road, then that's completely fair as well. But I'm not going to lie. I mean, look at this match that you're watching right here. Look at the enemies. Look at the enemies, okay? This is a bot lobby straight out of Black Ops 1, ladies and gentlemen. And I really do think people forgot what, casual players look like in FPS games because they've been brainwashed with how thick skill-based matchmaking has been current date. But yes, bots do play like this. You can indeed get bot lobbies, and these were extremely frequent back in the day. Call of Duty 4 up to Black Ops 2, Ghost, even the jetpack games, definitely the jetpack games, because all I remember is finding these type of lobbies to just beast and feast in with Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare. This all left once Modern Warfare 2019 came out, okay? And all of those years, 5 years, we have been struggling and sweating. After all of that, yeah, I don't blame people for forgetting what an actual noob, a bot, a casual player looks like in a Call of Duty experience, but this is how they play. This was the most genuine God lobby I've gotten this whole year. And I know I've said that the casual matches have happened to me multiple times, but I have to be honest, it's because I like to sweat, and all the people I play with like to sweat. So even if we're versing sweats, we're going to stomp out. We're going to at least attempt to stomp out. And we don't always stomp out. We get stomped out as well. But it's a lot easier when you have a bunch of people dropping advanced UAVs and gunships, you know what I'm saying, compared to playing solo. But I tested this out both solo and with the squad. And when I tell you that these matches are way more frequent, they are more frequent for me. Again, it might be a personal experience, and I want you guys to go down in the comment section. If you have recently played this game from February 1st, okay, this is very specific because the day before February 1st, I didn't feel jack anything. It was sweaty. So February 1st up to current date, February 2nd, both these days has been very nice for me. I want to know what they're like for you, though. I want to know what everybody else is feeling, what everybody else is saying. So far from my stream and my chat, everybody's saying the same thing as me. Everybody's getting a lot more casual experiences, and they're all solo players. So I'm curious what you guys think about this overall thing here. But I'm starting to think that maybe they are adjusting things. And if they are doing a hidden test behind the scenes, and they're not telling anybody, I don't know if they're probably not going to watch this video, but if you watch this video, please keep it this way. This is how Call of Duty is supposed to feel. It feels outstanding right now. It really does. I get a mix of everything. It's not nonstop 24/7 sweat, and it's not nonstop 24/7 pub stomping. But you get more variety of pub stomping as well, especially for the lower end players, like 1 KD players. I feel like you're definitely going to feel a noticeable difference. If I'm feeling a noticeable difference, I feel like it's going to be way more lenient for you guys. You might not stomp out completely, obviously, or drop gunships every single 5 seconds, but you're probably going to notice some type of difference between the competition that you're going up against. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm going to keep this test going. Only 2 days doesn't say too much, but again, this feels phenomenal. I can't lie when I tell you guys that the matches have been just great. And I'm not saying I haven't gotten any sweat, because I've versed some extremely talented players in the past couple of days as well, even with this matchmaking feeling this way. It's just not every single game. It's not every single match that, to the point where me, myself, playing a casual game of COD, I'm putting on the lowest end streaks because I know there's not a chance that I'm going to be able to rack them up because of the fact the matchmaking is tuned so high, No more is that mindset relevant, okay? At least right now. I am completely confident with maxing up my streaks. And of course, yeah, the casual, sweat matches, well, not casual, but the every so often sweat matches will come on through, and I won't be able to get those streaks. But I don't feel like I got to strip them because it's not a chance in hell I'm going to be able to obtain them. Not right now. It kind of feels like Black Ops 4 to me at the moment, where yes, you're going to get your sweaty matches every so often. But, I still ran the same things. I had my sniper's nest on all the time. I was switching between gunships and having those, what were they? The squad people you can call in as well, I always had people. I always had my streaks nice and high, despite having to sweat. But it wasn't forced on you every game that you played. That's what this is feeling right now. Truthfully, that's what this is feeling right now. And I don't know if it's going to last, because last time it didn't last. It lasted for like a week. Most. Honestly, it was probably less than a week. I think it was around like 4 to 5 days it lasted for me. Again, you can go back on my channel and see around about when, I think it was around Christmas time, that I made that content about skill-based matchmaking being tuned down. Lasted for, maybe around a week. So I don't know. It could just simply be another test to see. And what we also don't know is during this test, the back out rate might be even higher than ever, which would cancel them out ever keeping it like this, because they're going to say that the stats behind the scenes are going to prove otherwise. I think at the end of the day, they should still open up the experimental playlist and put this in. Whether it's non-disbanding lobbies or a tuned back skill, whatever you want to call it, because they hyper-focus so much about skill when it comes to Call of Duty nowadays, down to every single movement that you make. If you slide cancel, don't slide cancel. If your accuracy is good or bad. If you B-hop or if you don't B-hop. If you know how to drop shot or you don't. They get everything, every single thing about your playstyle they fine-tune. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, and honestly, I feel like that's what they toned down within this, whatever they're doing behind the scenes here with the matchmaking. I feel like they toned down the skill requirements because it definitely feels like, again, the enemy teams, it just didn't feel like they were tracking the skills properly. I was playing with demons, okay? I'm not going to lie. I was playing with demons. I'm talking about high KD players who know how to play the OBJ, who know how to hold OBJs, hold positions, and not just blindly running out there, getting clapped 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes are demons out here. And we're running into these lobbies as a full 6-stack? Nah, something isn't right here. Something is not right whatsoever. Because if the matchmaking was working how it was before, it will track that the majority of us are all higher than a 2 KD and would, party us up accordingly. This is a little backwards. And again, I know people are going to say, oh, you reverse boost. Oh, you use this. Oh, you use that. I stream all my gameplay. You can see every last detail of how I get into lobbies. I don't do anything. I literally hit quick play and we get into matches. What we get is what we get. That's literally all that goes down. This, like I said, they had to tune something behind the scenes, and I think it was the skill. I just hope that eventually the experimental playlist will come back and we could test these things out and get real legitimate stats that we can see with our own eyes. Or even better, show us the stats. They claim they have these stats. Show us them. If it's really true that more people are backing out, when the skill-based matchmaking is toned down like this compared to when it's toned up, then show us them. Don't just talk about them, show us them, because if you show us them, then we'll have real legitimate proof and we can actually believe what you're saying. But right now, it's hard to believe that. It's hard to believe saying, oh yeah, well, this is why this is, because the numbers show us, but we don't have any proof of the numbers. How are we supposed to go off of that word, right? So, I don't know. But again, go down in the comment section. Let me know your current experience with Call of Duty. Let me know if I'm going crazy or not. I just find it really awkward that for the past couple of days playing with a bunch of 2+ KD players, I've been getting into lobbies like you're seeing here where, like I said, this is the true definition of a god lobby back in the OG Call of Duty. I haven't seen a lobby like this probably since Black Ops 4. And I'm just mind-boggled. I almost dropped like 5 nukes in one day. That's literally impossible with the current day skill-based matchmaking bracket, unless you reverse boost or, VPN or whatever you got to do, 2-box, whatever you do to get in the bot lobbies. That's impossible nowadays, right? I can maybe pull off a nuke a day or something like that if I really, 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 really try. And, when I do get lucky enough to get that noob lobby, I got to really put in effort to make sure I take advantage of it because it'll never appear again. No, I got so many bot lobbies. I literally, like I said, almost dropped 5 nukes. That's insane. That's, like I said, that's Black Ops 4 status. That's how we used to pub stomp back in Black Ops 4 and Jetpack CODs. That's what pub stomping was like. I haven't seen that in ages, so I don't know. Let me know your experience down below. But as always, guys, leave a like if you enjoyed today's video. Leave a dislike if you hated it. By all means, subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time, and sometimes we go ahead and post a second upload at 4 p.m. Eastern Time as well, which today is one of those days. So if you guys are interested and want to be notified on that stuff, like I said, hit the bell. And last but not least, we do go ahead and stream pretty much daily besides Sundays over on Kick. So if you guys want to check that out, that goes live around 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find a link to that as well as all my other socials down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.